I am about to leave for yoga with Carolina, and I'm going to talk about thoughts, feelings, and concerns before we go to the yoga class. So, I think that yoga is a big part of my culture because I've danced my whole life and I do yoga. So then I also think it captures the American culture because many Americans are fascinated by how they look and they always like exercise. This doesn't pertain to all Americans, but I think there is a culture in America that goes by that. I am excited to do yoga with Carolina. I was going to do Zumba, but when I asked her if she's ever done Zumba before, she said that it's really popular in Brazil, so that didn't work out. And I wanted to do one of the group exercises that are here on campus at Michigan State, and yoga was another class, so I decided to do yoga. I am happy to show Carolina what my life was like before Michigan State, before I got introduced to other cultures and before I started doing things at Michigan State. And then I am a little concerned about being like awkward during yoga because yoga can be awkward if you haven't really done it before. It's quiet and peaceful, but that feeling might not be the same for every culture. Okay, so we just got out of the yoga class. Carolina, what are your reactions or thoughts about yoga here at Michigan State?
I really enjoyed the class. I feel so relaxed after this, especially like I have a bunch of tests next week, so it's helpful. And it's so cool how they have it here. In Brazil, we'll never have yoga classes in a university, and yeah, it's good for like study environment, all the stress. Yeah, what do you thought about it?
I also thought it was really relaxing, and I found it interesting how universities in Brazil don't just offer yoga like they do here. Probably because it's not like as popular in Brazil as it is here.
I'd say.
And then I just wanted to bring up that when we were talking before we did the yoga class, Carolina was saying how Halloween was like not a thing when she was growing up, but now it is. I just think that's really interesting if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, like when I was a kid, we didn't have Halloween, so I don't really care about it. But my younger brother, he's like 10 years younger than me, so every year now he dresses up for Halloween and go trick or treating. And yeah, it's really different. He gets all excited about it, and I don't feel the same.
Okay, so I think that might be it. Thank you
Yeah.
again. I really appreciate you doing this with me. Okay, so I'm going to log off now. Hello, I'm back after doing the yoga class with Carolina, and I just wanted to talk about how I noticed that Carolina seemed really comfortable with doing yoga here. What I thought during the yoga class was I would notice that Carolina would put out the wrong leg. If we were supposed to do like the right leg, she would put out the left leg and she wouldn't change it. And my thoughts were, oh, she's doing it the wrong way. And I guess I could say I was being ethnocentric about that. But in yoga, it's pretty much like you could do whatever you want to be comfortable in doing it. So maybe that was just her stance on it, and that's just her culture. She feels that she doesn't really have to follow like the leader exactly, just however she could get the most out of the yoga class. How I can connect this back to what we're learning in class, what we're currently learning, or what we just learned last week, I would say, was about motivation. And Carolina seemed really motivated to be doing the yoga. It didn't seem like she was just doing it just because I asked her to. So I was thinking, oh, maybe she just did it for my project. Or maybe it was because she was competent in it, so she felt like she could do it. She had autonomy, which was being able to do it to make her comfortable. So doing the right leg versus the left leg. so she had freedom in doing the yoga and then having relatedness. So she felt like valued by the other people in the room. Maybe it was even because I was there doing it with her. She felt that it was like motivated because we were doing it together. How I could connect this, or the insights about culture and education emerging from yoga that we did. Carolina said that yoga isn't provided at universities in Brazil, and I thought that maybe the education system in Brazil might not value mental health as much as MSU does, because yoga is like a stress relief. It clears your mind. I also thought that maybe not just the education system, but maybe the culture might not value mental health as much as the United States. But I feel like it's also still fairly new to the United States, and maybe it'll eventually go to Brazil. Carolina mentioned something about how Brazil tries to be like the United States because they're like a dominant like power. I had Carolina mention it in the video. But before we did the yoga, we were just talking, and she mentioned how Halloween wasn't a thing when she was growing up, and now her brother, who is about 10 years younger than her, is experiencing Halloween and dresses up and goes trick-or-treating. I thought that was just so cool that that type of holiday could have just came out of nowhere. But that was probably because of Brazil seeing the holiday that the United States has. So to summarize, I wanted to bring Carolina to this event, which was yoga, because it's really meaningful to me. Before coming to Michigan State, I danced my whole life. So yoga, this is just like what I do. So I wanted to show her that. And I would say like that was my culture. So I'm happy I was able to do it with Carolina. And I hope we still talk, because I never thought that I would be doing a project like this where I would be brought together with someone that was an international student. Which brings me to the whole task versus relationship thing that we also learned in class, where many Americans do something or like do a project just to get the task done and over with, while other cultures try to fulfill like the relationship before the task. And I think that in this task versus relationship situation that we really fulfilled like the relationship part of it. So I'm really happy about that. So yeah, I'm really happy about this project, and I'm glad we were able to do it.